Hi, everybody. I am so excited about tonight's call. It is going to be a real game changer. When I look back over my journey from losing weight to maintaining my weight loss, there are certain hurdles that I had to overcome and that the people who I've watched successfully lose the weight have overcome. And there's a few tools that we've used that I want you to have. And I don't want you just to have them. I want you to lean into them. I want you to go all in on them. And I want you to use them so that you get the kind of results you truly deserve. And that's more than a number on the scale. That's loving your reflection. That's what you really came to get. Because any number on the scale is really just about, nobody can be waiting to be let in because there is no waiting room and it's all open. So somebody can share the link from the call with her again, because she might just be in the wrong place, in the wrong room. Okay. But nobody is going to be left behind tonight. So I'm going to ask you guys I'm going to explain something. I know I've been kind of saying like we should dance at the beginning of the call and we didn't explain it. So one of the things that we're going to practice tonight is changing your state, is understanding that when we're sitting and kind of listening and kind of doing things, sometimes we can be kind of defensive. We can be like, uh-oh, what's next? What's going to happen? What are we going to say? Are they going to ask me to do something else? And when we stretch, when we stand up, when we move around, we actually change our energy. And you're going to notice this anytime you're hitting the snack cabinet. One of the reasons that we do that is because we're looking for a change of state. The same reason we drink coffee, it's a change of state. We drink coffee and we feel powerful. We feel like we can do things, we feel focused. So standing up or stretching or rolling your shoulders or anything at the beginning of a call really is going to help you guys change your state and help you get the most out of the experience. And I'm going to share my screen.
I think a good way also to think about that is also just when everyone's sitting and listening to the calls, it's just basically kind of in a way moving from passive to active, taking an active role in this.
Exactly. And that's why writing in the chat, I mean, it helps us to react to you and really connect with you deeply, which is what we're here for. But really, it helps you to co-create with us what you want to get out of this, because just showing up is the first step, but it's not the only step to getting what you want. You have to take action. So tonight, we're going to talk about a beginner's guide to managing your emotions. Topics we'll be discussing: what are emotions anyway? And the benefits of emotion management, because this is work and we have to know exactly why it's worth it. Common myths that kind of get in our way anytime we start to do this work. And then we're going to really celebrate your progress and show you how gratitude and celebration is key in this process.
I would put a hat on so I can actually turn the video on.
Lily, you're
going to tell me what I missed?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to also make you.
Like,
hold on. Come on, guys. Stop share.
No, you muted. I mean, now it's muted, but.
Okay, should I make you the host also?
You can try.
You can't just like hit somebody and make them mute. Hold on.
I can't make anybody mute, not being a host.
Okay, hold on. Let me find you. Yeah, it's not gonna, if I make you the host, I'm not gonna be able to share. So guys.
Okay, forget it. We'll just keep on pointing.
Okay. Try to be respectful, try to pay attention. If you're on mute, we're gonna go back and share. This is real life. We don't worry about perfection here. Okay. Here we are. Okay, get to know more about your emotions. So thoughts create feelings, and that moves us to action. And this is really important because I don't know if you've ever heard this before. I know there was not so long ago that I didn't really understand what this meant. So let's break it down. We have a thought. This is delicious. We have a feeling. I want that. And we have an action. We take it and we eat it. We have a thought. I need to get on the scale and I need it to be a lower number than yesterday, we have a feeling, anxiety, concern, excitement, we have an action, we get on the scale. No matter what it is that you're doing, there's always a thought, feeling connection in order for you to do anything. So if you're finding that you're struggling to take action in an area here, then you got to check in with your thoughts and your feelings, because you're probably not feeling good about that thing, and so you don't really want to do it. Why are owning our emotions so important? There we go. Hold on. I see that we're kind of blocking is it only for me or also for you guys? There we go.
No, it's just, it was fine. Go back. It was
Oh, okay, fine.
Nothing was blocked.
Great. Why is owning our emotions important? Thoughts and emotions are an important part of living a healthy and happy lifestyle. Looking after yourself, both mentally and physically, is crucial to taking control of your health. Negative thoughts create a negative pattern, and that makes us take avoidant action. So what does that mean in like regular speak? We have to own our emotions if we want to feel good. We came to this group, we came to this community, we came to fitness, we came to nutrition because there was a promise. And the promise is you will feel better, you will have more energy, and you will love your reflection. That's the promise. That's what we all want, right? If that's what you want, let us know in the chat. That's the big three. I want to feel good. I want to be healthy. I want to eat healthy. I want to love how I look. In the mirror, I want to see somebody I respect. So when we have a lot of negative thoughts about any of the core behaviors that are going to get us there, tonight we're talking about the scale. If every time we have to get on the scale, there is a whole negative game happening, okay, well, I'm not surprised it's not the number I want. I haven't been doing the behaviors I should be doing. Gosh, maybe I should go to the bathroom first. I haven't pooped in a few days, TMI. Maybe I'm going to do that first. Early in the morning is really never a good time for me to weigh in. I'm going to walk around. You know what? I ate really late last night. I'm not going to get on the scale. All of those things those thoughts are justifying a feeling. And the feeling is, I don't really want to do this. This is not fun. This is not getting me happier, healthier, or making me feel better about myself and my reflection. And what's amazing about this group and this program and the tool we're going to learn tonight is it's how you make that transition from feeling that pain of every day getting on the scale, but not really getting closer to where you want it to go, to I love getting on the scale because it is guiding me exactly on how to get to where I want to go. I am learning every day. I am excited every day I get on the scale. I am closer to my goal. The pain and the pleasure are right there for the taking, and we're going to learn how to go from that old version of us that feels avoidant, that doesn't feel good about it, or feels like it's always proving us right that we're not doing well, versus being excited for what it's going to teach us every day, whether it's up or down. Emotions can be managed in many ways. And I want you to understand that if you don't jive with the way I'm talking tonight, that's okay. That doesn't mean that managing your emotions isn't for you. I have a perspective and a prism where the way I see things and the way I give them over, and it's always to do my absolute best for you. But you may hear or see or be touched by things in a totally different way than I am. So take whatever really resonates with you tonight and leave the rest, okay? And remember that you get to do you, and that is totally okay. Okay, tonight we're gonna do a journaling tool. I'd like everybody to get out a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a second to do it. Check in here. Ayala, how are we doing? Any questions?
No, not a question, but I think that whole idea when you were talking about the scale, Sorrel then shared, which I think so openly and honestly, saying that this morning she took off her glasses and put in her lenses, for that little difference you know, in terms of like how that affects the scale. I think that totally relates to what you were saying in terms of really what does that mean that we're actually thinking about.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Sorrel, for sharing that. I'm sure so many of us can relate. And I tell you, there were so many times where I wear like really thin PJs, and there are times like it's winter now, and in the morning, I remember so clearly like debating, like, do I have to get naked? I don't want to get on the scale because I still have my PJs on and I don't want to take them off. And like, I don't want to weigh in with my PJs. And like on the other side of that, when you do the work that we're going to talk about tonight, I just get on with my leggings now. Like, I don't sweat it because I know I know why I'm here, what I'm gonna learn. And it was not always that way. Like literally, I can't tell you how many winters, especially those little details, like, oh, do I have to get undressed to get on the scale? Like sometimes made me really want to avoid it. And of course, it was because of the fear and the negativity that I had and those feelings. So I want you guys to really think about, and I did this myself, this exercise, and it was really transformative for me. But I want you to understand that this is a tool that takes practice. This is not like a quick fix, Band-Aid, okay, you are ready, go out into the world and the scale will be your best friend forever. This is exactly, I'm gonna break down for you the process of going from anxiety and frustration and negativity with the scale to having a really great relationship and feeling like it's constantly affirming you. And it's a process. So I'm going to break down the process for you. The first is awareness. And for most of us, we have a story with this scale is really about self-esteem and our self-concept. And self-esteem seems like very like, I don't really know what self-esteem is, how I feel about myself. Well, I feel good about myself in other areas. I don't feel good about myself and about my weight. Sometimes I feel good as a mother, sometimes I don't, right? Like self-esteem seems really complicated. But this term self-concept is actually very straightforward. Your self-concept is what you've been told about yourself, what you've experienced personally about yourself, and then what you tell yourself that means. So it's what other people told you about yourself, what you've seen from your life experience about yourself, and what you make it mean. So those three things are what make up your self-concept. So I like to imagine it as, I'll show you my paper here when I did it for myself, but like a little timeline, okay? Just a little timeline, just a straight line. And at the beginning of that line, I'd write, what have other people told me about my weight? Because the scale is really about weight, right? Can't lie, can't deny it. That's what it's about. What have other people told me? What are my really strongest memories about my weight? That it means that I'm overweight, that I'm fat, that I'm like not attractive, that I'd be more attractive if I lost weight, that I can't do things because I'm this weight. Like what was the messaging I was getting from the outside about my weight? And then you want to think about what's your history with the scale yourself personally. Have there been things that you can't do after you put on weight? Maybe it was run. Maybe you weren't as feeling as confident in private, right? We all like in the bedroom. Maybe you weren't going out with your kids and playing the way you would have before. Maybe you weren't as confident at work. Maybe you really see on the outside world, your experiences are telling you that while the scale is up, the story, you're not worthy. You're not good enough. And if that's the story that's playing, I want you to think about how many times you've gotten the scale and seen a gain and it's ruined your day. How many times has it ruined your week? How many times have you been thrown into such a dark place from those thoughts that it's ruined your month or even a year, where you just can't even deal with it anymore because it puts you in such a dark place? I bet some of you have had really positive compliments in your life too. I bet at some point someone told you that you were beautiful. And it had nothing to do with your weight, just you're beautiful. Oh my God. I love how you look in that dress. wow, your skin, you have like the best skin. I love your eyes. You're so strong. I bet you've had experiences where you've tried on a dress, you at your wedding, maybe your bat mitzvah. For me, those weren't the times I felt most attractive, but it's okay. Whenever they were for you, when you really felt, you looked in the mirror and you were like, damn, I look good. I feel good about myself. I feel good about how I present myself. It was a new outfit, a new pair of shoes, or just this day that just everything aligned for you and you felt great, or it was a day you lost weight. You've had a positive experience somewhere. And there's an option that there's been a time where maybe you've taken better care of your health, where you ran for the first time. You lifted weights or did a workout and it was easier than you can ever remember it being. You eat a salad and like it actually tasted amazing, or you chose water over soda and you felt really worthy of your health. That's all true. And yet when we get on the scale, very often it's the other tape playing. The other tape is the default setting. It's actually our survival mode from our brain, which says, avoid pain at all costs. Our brain is way wired to avoid pain more than it is to go after pleasure. So if when you see the scale and you think about weight, it is a ton of baggage, then of course, you're gonna wanna avoid it. And you're gonna wanna avoid the behaviors and really looking at it as a tool with curiosity and fun and an intelligent, active, insightful way. So how can we change? How can we change this dynamic? And before I go into how we can change it, I wanna pause for a second, just check in with Ayala because I can't see the chat while I'm with the slides. Anybody saying anything? Guys, if this is a minute, if you wanna share anything before we move on.
Well, Lisa did write in the chat. I had asked the chat for anyone, what kind of, do you remember having a positive experience? So I think it's Lisa, right? Lisa, you wrote this? I'm just trying to connect because you're you're really funny. Your Zoom just says MacBook Pro. You could be a million people. So So like Lisa said, yes, getting the smallest compliment is literally worth every day that I'm in track. Like when you said, then you feel worthy of the work you put in, right? Yeah. And I think it's so incredible, guys, if you heard what Lily said, but how quickly that other tape, the unworthy tape, or all those other things we've been told actually is on playback. When we step on the scale one day and see a gain, we don't play back that worthiness tape that, okay, but 3 days ago, I felt great and I was on track, and even, we so quickly go to the default of playing the tape that makes us just feel bad. Yeah, exactly. So how are we going to change this? And this is where I told you guys I was going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone. I won't make you dance, because I heard that is like makes a lot of people very uncomfortable. And it was funny because I practiced this with coaches earlier, and I actually didn't dance myself when I did this. So if you feel uncomfortable, you have permission now to turn off your video, because I'm gonna invite you to change your life right now. So it is so important to me. I would rather you turn off your video and do it in private than not to do it because you feel like we're watching you. Okay, so I can't see you right now because I'm looking at the slide, but you can see me, and I want you to take a minute and I want you to call up the feelings that you would feel in your body, in your mind, to literally, it is as if it is happening in this moment, that you got on the scale, like I'm gonna step forward, like I'm getting on a scale, and this is how I urge you to do it. Guys, stand up forward if you can. If you have the space, stand up. Remember, stand up. Stand up.
Okay, do this. Don't just watch me do it. This is for you. Me changing won't change your life. Okay, you're going to take a step forward and you're going to look down, and that is going to say the number that you envision, the number that represents that feeling of having made it, that feeling of being worthy. And I want you to feel it from the tips of your toes to the top of your head with your entire body. Are we ready? Yes! Ugh.
Guys, come on, if you did this, think about how you feel. I can tell you, my hands are clenched. I have a huge smile on my face. And
Literally,
I just
my
kept
hands are
on and
clenched.
off 5 times to keep on seeing it. It's a feeling, the minute you picture it. How does that feel?
Feel it in your body. I will tell you, my heart is racing. I have adrenaline through my whole body. I want to scream. It's like almost orgasmic. I'm not joking. It's like, yes, like it's a release of tension, of expectation. I can just let this go now. I made it. You decide how you feel. You can call up that emotion at any time. You can call up that emotion before you step on the scale every single day. If you do that, and every day you step on that scale, feeling like you are already there, and that number is the next street sign on the way. Okay? So how do we do this?
1 second,
Break it.
Lily.
Yes.
Lily, really important because I think it needs to be clarified.
Yes.
Sorrel just wrote, she's resisting that feeling because I think it's sad that a number can determine my entire self-worth. So I'd like you to relate to that because that's not.
I 100% agree with you. The number does not determine your self-worth. Your feeling about that number does. If it's a number that represents that feeling for you, then denying that that is true, you are going to still resist and play the games with the glasses when you get on the scale. If every day, no matter what number it is, you feel worthy, then you're gonna treat yourself with respect. So please stay with your resistance, hold it, and don't cheat yourself or us of letting us know if and when it goes away, okay? Throughout the rest of the thing. But thank you for sharing it, and I honor you because that resistance is exactly what we're gonna talk about next. The scale is not about tracking, it's about your relationship to you. You can stay in a negative spiral where the number means everything, or you can give yourself the gift of feeling incredible at the weight you are today as you get to whatever weight you are. And you might be surprised that I think for every single person I've ever worked with, Ayala and I included, it's never the number we think it is. Because it's really about the feeling. The number is just a way to quantify it. So how can you really practice this? Because maybe you were able to call it up, maybe you weren't. Maybe you were so resistant, you weren't able to really get into what it would feel like to be done with this process. Just be in the embodiment of the person who lives at her ideal weight. We can't get our self-esteem, our self-concept from the number on the scale. Because really, there's nothing to admire in a number. That number means something to you because it means self-respect. It means you've been treating yourself consistently well, and you love it. So the scale has to become feedback that's desired, that's helpful, that's exciting, because you already feel great. And so you know you're worthy of feeling great from head to toe all day. And so you want to be eating in alignment with already feeling great. Emotional management reduces stress and anxiety. The more stressed we are starting our day with the scale, which happens first thing in the morning, the more it spirals into increasing anxiety in our marriages, with our kids, at the office. Food surrounds us. We eat many times a day. We are surrounded with food decisions. And if we are constantly assessing them based on the scale from a place of unworthiness, it is going to increase anxiety throughout the entire day. If we start the day knowing we are worthy, knowing that that number doesn't define us, we've already defined ourselves as worthy, then we're just going to assess each eating opportunity as, does this respect my body? Does this feel good right now? Like really good, not like temporary good, like really good. Is this how somebody I respect, like if I really respected me and I trusted me, is this how I would behave? Feelings can boost your self-esteem as well as calm your nerves. You have a positive impact on the way you see yourself. Treating yourself with kindness makes you look upon yourself more kindly. Respect breeds respect. I didn't realize how much respect for myself was lacking until I actually started getting coached myself. You see, because I really respected my coach. And so when she would tell me to do things that I would feel resistant to, I would offer up my resistance like Sorrel so beautifully did. And I would say, you know, I'm feeling resistant to that. I don't know what to do with that. And she would help me. She would help me figure out how to handle whatever was coming up for me and move into the next change I needed to make. And I trusted her. And so I took uncomfortable action because I respected her. And I realized that's what was missing in my relationship to myself. If I really respect myself, then even when it's uncomfortable to walk by the ice cream aisle, when I'm feeling stressed, I respect myself. So of course I'm going to do that. And if I have a bite of a cookie, of course I'm not going to berate myself. Of course I'm not going to shame and guilt myself because I respect myself and I treat myself kindly. Because from the first moment of the day, I'm talking that way to myself. I'm feeling that way, and therefore I think that way.
Lily, I think, can you just take another moment and expand upon that? Because some of the talk that's been going
Yes.
on, and I think, you know, the whole idea about the number, not the number. I always like to say, and we've discussed this before, how we've either all been or we know miserable thin people. So I think we all understand that it's not just about the number, but then
Yeah.
how do we close that gap of so badly wanting to lose weight, you know, and feeling worthy of treating ourselves that way to lose weight without having it be only about the number. Like, I want you to expand upon that, because I think some people are really struggling with that worthiness and that association. Like we always say, what's the feeling that comes with the number? And you have to implement that in yourself along the journey.
So I'm going to sit down here. So I'm really like close to you because I want you to see my eyes and really see my face when I tell you. I did not go on the scale, deal with the scale until this. Because I believe that, because I believe the scale can't define me, so why should I go on it? Respect and kindness and caring about the feeling matters. And you only get there when you use all your tools. The scale is just a tool. But we can pretend all we want. If you're feeling negative and you have the negative thoughts about the scale, you can't undo that tape without putting in a different tape. You can't. So resist all you need to, but you have to at some point welcome in the idea that that number is just a feeling that's in a number. And the number isn't really relevant because you'll know when you get there, because all day, every day you feel that feeling. And I felt that feeling 20 pounds above my goal weight. I feel that feeling now in maintenance, 8 pounds above what that lowest number was, because I feel that feeling of respect every day in every behavior and every time I get on the scale. When I don't feel that feeling when I get on the scale, I know something else is bothering me. I know I'm not feeling worthy. Maybe my eating wasn't so respectful. Maybe the way I treated my body or someone else in my life wasn't so kind. So I'm not feeling so worthy. So then it's really important I practice feeling worthy. I practiced what it would feel like to get on that scale. And again, this applies to anything. I used the same tool when it came to my renovation. I want my renovation to go a certain way, and I practice seeing it, the feeling, not the details, the feeling I would feel when I walk into that renovated home. And I've practiced it every day since we started this project a year ago. And there have been ups and downs and delays and things, but every day I don't feel the stress of the delay. It's a delay, it's inconvenient, it's this. I feel the excitement because I've practiced feeling that excitement every day for over a year. It's the same thing with the scale. It's not about the number that was on the scale when you looked down on it and felt that feeling. It's really about that's the trigger you needed to feel that feeling. When you get on the scale, that's not the number you're going to see. But if you in your head are already at your goal, then it's really just about alignment. It's really just about enjoying the process, learning, this felt better, this didn't feel better, this was really productive, this was really skillful, this wasn't. Everybody makes mistakes and tries to figure out their body, and your body's going to change. How many of us have been doing this for so long and we're hitting hormonal changes and our bodies change over time? And that's totally okay, because when we get on the scale, we're not feeling any of those old negative feelings anymore. We're feeling curious. We're feeling excited because we feel good and we want to keep feeling good. Was that a little more clear?
Guys, you have to speak up. We're trying to give you guys to make things clear for you. But Lily, two things I want to say. One, there's 4 minutes left. I know you are sharing your screen, so you may not see the countdown. So you have to figure out where where we're closing in, and if we're going to have an amazing part 2 or part 3 to all of this.
So I'm going to go through some of these myths that might be part of your resistance, and we're going to sign off.
So then tell me if this is going to also help, because Meira brought up a point that she was having a hard time with the word worthy. So Meira, I'd love for you to put in the chat, or anybody else, what about it? What do you think that, what part of the word worthy are you having a hard time with in terms of that? How are you interpreting the word that you might be having a hard time with it? Or what about it is bothering you here, and like in this context, the way Lily is using it?
Please, this is exactly where we need to go, because the rest of it is all about common obstacles and reasons why we're not willing to work on the emotions. So let's hear from you guys. What bothers you about the word worthy? Please feel free to unmute yourself. You have like 3 minutes left. I'd love to hear.
Right.
I guess it's like associating the feeling of worthiness with being successful, and the scale, and just this, I don't know, I don't know, I'm having a hard time with using the word worthy.
Yeah.
I think we're all worthy because we're on this journey and we're trying. So I can't see any other way to associate it.
That's the exact right way to associate it. If every day you get on the scale and you really deeply physically in your body feel as worthy today as you will feel at your goal weight, then you won't avoid getting on the scale. You will be excited to get on the scale, because every single piece of feedback you get is taking you to that best version of you, which is more than a number on the scale. It's a feeling of being worthy of your best, vibrant health, where you look in the mirror and you love the entire person looking back at you.
I think if I can say something, I don't know, Meira, did that help? Did you understand it's such a nuance that Lily was saying in terms of which way to look at it. She's not saying you're only worthy if, but you are worthy enough to be constantly and consistently on this journey, to be feeling it every day, no matter what the scale is showing. And I think I once had somebody say to me, I can't do this right now. There are more important things in life, to be a worthy, and she didn't even use the word worthy in terms of, but being a mom, right now, that's my priority, being a good mom and a good this and a good this. And I'm like, what is holding you back from then feeling like your time and effort is important for those aspects, but not the aspect of also taking care of yourself? And I think that's where the word worthy comes in. Are we ever really honest with ourselves? Do you ever admit to yourself that sometimes, well, this is what falls off, right? We always say, I have too many things going up in the air. My health is what's gonna drop right now. I don't have the headspace for that right now.
Yeah.
Where does that coincide with feeling worthy of putting in the effort into yourself?
Yeah.
Of it.
Look,
You know, if you were
I know
doing-
you're having a hard time with that. You're worthy because you're divinely created no matter what the scale says. The problem is when you avoid the scale and you're not getting on it and you're feeling bad about it and you're playing games about pooping and glasses and I don't want to go on today because I overate last night, you're saying I'm not worthy. That's the problem. And the only way to change that pattern is to say the opposite.
Mhm.
And that feels uncomfortable. We're in our last minute, so I want to thank you guys so much. I know this was just a real challenge and to take this concept and do it with a scale, but I know you guys are worth it. I know you guys are worth hearing the truth.
And if
and
you
are
guys
feeling
want to
worthy
hear
every
the
day.
second, and if you want to hear the rest, let us know. Lily has so much on this, and we can keep on going on this topic.
And I'll have